right, everybody, welcome to the show and welcome DMPeyer. He's a creator over on Twitch and YouTube known for his knowledge and coverage of the Persona series and the Kingdom Hearts series. You may also know him for his hot takes over on Blue Sky, his dedication to the annual St. Jude fundraiser, or you might even know him for his fully self-written tabletop RPG rooted in the Persona universe. Dylan, how are you?
A bitch is tired, but a bitch is good. Let's be real. It's
Felt.
been a year. It's been a year. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you? How was your week?
I'm good. I mean, I have a big booked week already. I'm starting this, so I have at least one person every day this week, which is
Oh gosh,
insane.
bravo to you.
Yeah. But let's get into your content, your streaming journey. How did you start streaming? I feel like for a lot of people, it doesn't come easy. Either it's tech or confidence or whatever. How did you start streaming?
So I learned about live streaming because I was interested in Gears of War specifically, and I ended up
Okay.
finding YouTube videos from a guy named Gold Glove, and
Mhm.
that was how I got into the content creation space. And then I think it was a video he mentioned one day was about Justin TV, and that I was like, what's Justin TV? People are streaming live, like this is a news channel kind of thing,
Yeah, it is kind of like
huh?
that, huh? Yeah.
In a way, yeah. And then made an account to watch people over there. Ended up moderating for some people. Did some other behind the scenes stuff like figuring out the tech itself. But I actually started live streaming with Call of Duty Black Ops 2. They had built in live streaming to the game that you could stream
Oh.
directly to YouTube live to there. So that was how I actually pressed go live for the first time, and then eventually got what I needed to do it directly off of my own stuff.
Right. So for you, was it ever like a confidence thing? Like, were you shy to start? Were you like, nobody's probably looking?
It wasn't a matter of no one's looking for me. It was a matter of
Right.
I might as well. There was so much stuff, and confidence was never really an issue. I've been a musician since I was
Wow.
4, so
Oh, okay.
I've always been okay with being seen doing
Right, and
things
presenting.
in public manner and stuff of that nature.
Mhm.
And this was just a matter of I can do this from my own home. I don't need to leave. I don't need to pack up
It's so
anything.
nice.
I am home, and of all things,
Hmm.
I get to play video games. Okay, yeah, let's try this. So
Also,
it
sign me
was it
up.
was a natural switch. Yeah, it was a natural kind of transition into it and trying to figure out what the space I wanted to be in. And again, I started with Call of Duty of all things. So
Yeah, what happened to that? Because
I
because I
still
know you.
play it.
Right, I know that you're a fan of. I honestly, I had a spreadsheet of people, and just off the top of my head, kind of like ripping into the spreadsheet, and I was like, what are they known for? What is their niche? And I came to you, and I was like, literally anything, like any game is how I know you to be a fan of. So, um, yeah, that's. Do you have any particulars that are your favorite? Obviously, we touched on
Yeah. Yeah,
Persona,
obviously
of course.
Persona and Kingdom Hearts, those are my go-tos, my comfort zone,
Yeah,
my I know what I'm doing, no one can backseat me or even try to attempt to tell me what to
right.
do in them
Because they will.
because
They'll try at
I
least.
know more than you is always the mantra. And
Yeah.
again, those are always my comfort spaces, but I like jumping out of those comfort spaces. And I was very fortunate growing up not just with learning and playing music, but also with video games because I had a dad that was a gamer. So I was very
Hmm.
lucky to have that already in the space. And I remember we couldn't get an N64 or a PS1 or anything like that right away, but we had a Sega Genesis, and the video store near our house ended up, hey, we're gonna sell all of our stuff in an extra
Oh my
system for
gosh.
dirt cheap. He's like, all right, cool.
We're going.
Literally, it was a couple blocks from our house. He walks back in the door with a box, and I'm just like,
Oh my goodness.
I saw a Sega box at the top. I'm like, what did you get? Uh, Whatever video was selling all of their stuff, so I grabbed it for $2 a game. I'm like, it's not even my birthday. What are you doing, man?
Yeah. And really, your
The
life was changed forever because You are
Yeah,
such a
basically.
huge gamer.
Yeah, but I think I didn't play the same game for 4.5 months straight or something like that. It was almost half a year
That is
that I didn't
insane.
play the same game for a day straight. So
Yeah. So how long have you been content creating? Or like
I
streaming or
guess the official date would be like 2011, 2012
Oh my
would be the
goodness.
technical date. Yeah. I've gone
That's
through a bunch of
insane.
different accounts, a bunch of different things
Mm.
like that. The main current account I use now was made in 2013. That was the day where I was
Wow.
like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna mod on the old account anymore. I'm gonna shorten things up to the current name, just
Right.
DMPeyer, and just that's gonna be me from now on. And 12 years later, here we are.
I know. My goodness. Obviously, like I said, you're a huge fan of many franchises and games, but I notably know you for the Persona series. How did you become such a fan? Did you just dip your toe in and decide this is it for me? Or what happened?
Persona's a little bit messier of a journey. Kingdom Hearts was easy.
Yeah.
It was, hey, I saw the Disney commercial. I wanted it for Christmas.
True.
I got it. Childhood enhanced, and here we are.
Right, right.
But Persona was more of a like it was more of a delicate thing. I had a buddy that was like, if I needed a place to get away from whatever I was dealing with as a chronically ill individual, I
Mm.
had a safe place with someone that knew how to take care of it, and I could just go away to get away for a night and then go home when I was ready to work the night if I needed to. And he handed me a copy of Persona 3 FES one day and said, "Hey, I think you would like this. You should play it sometime." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll try this out." It turned out I had played it at a friend's house in like 2008, 2009.
Yeah, that
I
tracks.
was over at a friend's over like a weekend and ended up
Yeah.
playing through like the first full moon. I was like, "Huh, maybe I should pick this up. What's it called again? Persona?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
right.
remember that." I did not remember that.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
um, and then he ended up giving me that copy. Then he ended up passing away
Mm.
before I actually got the chance to fully start it. So it just kind of, I was just like, well, I have this now. Do I give it back to his family? Do I play it when I
Right.
can? And about 2 months after he passed, I ended up booting it up finally for the first time, and it took me 4 months to get through because as a P3 player, you understand how tough some of those parts are gonna be to get
Mm.
through. A specific day in the
Yeah.
first double digit month of the year.
Uh huh.
It had taken me
Especially
3 weeks to go
having
back to the game.
going through that in real
Hmm.
time.
And thankfully it wasn't, and this is very like near and dear to me, and the
Mm.
reason why that particular character hits so hard and is very close to home for me is it wasn't violence that took it, but the other taking
Mm.
him. That's essentially what we told us what took him. So to have
Mm.
a character in a game that he gave to me essentially be dealing with the same things, and to have his life also taken away so far ahead of schedule for what we knew, at least, it
Right.
obviously really hit close to home. So that's just one part of why that game resonates so strongly with me,
Right.
and why it's always been as painful as it is my favorite. Um,
Mm.
but that's just how it is. It's when something connects with you that deeply, and there are periods of time with my chronic illness and just finding my place in the world that I very heavily connected with Igus specifically, um, and her entire growth of finding a reason to live, and to move on after her purpose was gone and actually
Right.
having one. Obviously, but again, just yep, yeah, I understand. Yep, I understand. The Sun social link. Yep, I understand. And banger after banger after banger of
Yeah.
just, why am I being attacked? But also, I feel so seen. At the same
I
time,
know.
you don't find that kind of a deep connection to something in a piece of media very often. So to
Mm.
have that essentially be his last gift to me was
What a
very,
beautiful gift.
very meaningful. Yeah.
Right.
It's
And
almost like he knew and he wanted to make sure I had something
right.
to get through it.
So he probably has played through the entire game before he even showed it to you, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. What age do you feel like that was? Like teen years? Because that's kind of a deep story to get into.
Yeah, we were late teens, early 20s. Yeah.
That's a lot to figure out, but I props to you because a lot of people will either ignore those things or escape them in whatever way that they can. Obviously, people deal, if you don't know, Persona 3 is mainly about grief and loss and also the beauty of life. And having to deal with all of those or trying to figure out where you land with all of that as a young teen, it sticks with you. The game sticks with you. And yeah, Dylan and I have had conversations about Persona 3 so many times. And I mean, I'll let you speak for it, but basically we kind of boiled it down to if you've been in that situation in your life, you'll connect with the game, and if you don't, then maybe it's not for you.
No. That's what I always tell people about the games in general, is people have their favorites. No one game is better than the other except for quality of life, engine, graphics, whatever.
Right.
That can be argued about. That's fair. That's a valid point. Yeah. But when it comes to the story and the characters and what's better, it's like, yeah, Persona 4 might hit differently for you because you haven't been through the same stuff. But you also might not even be doing the social links that connect or do the same kind of stuff that 3 does. Or you're not hitting the end of the social link.
We're ranting. But
it's all about personal resonance. Right. It's all about connection. That's the entire point of the game, is connecting with others and forming bonds and genuine stuff that'll last a lifetime. And why argue about which one's better?
Yeah, and the interesting part is in the Persona fandom, there's a lot of discourse about which one is the best, or has the best story, or has the best characters, or which ones are more friends. What is your take on all of that? Because it's kind of a mess.
It is a mess. 3, 4, and 5, their best versions, their most complete versions, are all in my top 10 games of all time. Like, I don't like individually like saying, oh, this is my number 1 and my number 2 or whatever. I don't like doing that because I don't think that's fair, because we can't really control when we get to experience everything. And if I would have experienced 4 right away after playing 3 instead of, oh hey, Persona exists, oh hey, that's a PlayStation Vita, oh hey, Persona, didn't I play? Yeah, I did. I'm traumatized. I don't want to go back and go through that again.
If it's anything like that, I'll pause.
Finally coming full circle when they made the initial Steam port for Persona 4, and 5 Royale was a thing. I played 5 Royale, I played 4 Golden, and now my life is no longer anything but the series. But if I had played them at different times, they might have hit differently. 4 might have gotten me through something at that particular time better than anything else could have. And it's all just a matter of, the right stuff finds you when the right stuff finds you, and it's okay for something to be higher on a list for you than it is for someone else. It's your personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We can argue mechanics and quality, for sure, but
yeah, you would think that since it's all technically the same fandom, that we would be unified, but it seems like it's not the case. Which, if you're not into the Persona games or have an eye for them, just get ready. Just get ready. But anyway, so you created your own tabletop RPG based in and around the Persona universe. What gave you the idea to create that? And how long does it take to build a story around these characters?
I'm still writing the story. Please help.
Please help.
It is an ongoing thing, but funny enough, I was in the final parts of writing it, or at least part of the initial sessions, when I went to reconnect. Literally, I brought my iPad with me to reconnect when we went that year, and I wrote a session and a half of the initial first dozen sessions while I was at reconnect. And
how did you find the time?
Downtime after picking up my badge. I had nothing else to do. I was nervous.
It is nerve-wracking. A couple of people have also mentioned the event Reconnect is a Kingdom Hearts community-led event that everyone meets up. And there's a lot of people that you end up encountering I actually don't know if you remember, but we met in the lobby at Reconnect
Yeah,
like
yeah.
early. And I put that together all backwards one day. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's very nerve wracking. So great way to spend your time. Like, were you just inspired and nervous and you're like, I gotta get this out, or did you have
Yes,
an
actually,
outline?
funny enough,
Okay.
I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so many people. I've said hi to like the ones I wanted to say hi to right
Mm-hmm.
away. I won't see anyone else that I need to. Uh, Let me distract myself. iPad, come here.
iPad.
Let me type.
Oh
And
my goodness.
it just came through, but I would say total time in terms of just writing story stuff and social links so far,
Because
it's
is it all
taken
original
over 4
content
years.
from just you? 4
It is
years
all
is insane.
original. It is all original content. The entire story itself basically revolves about 2 years after the latest point in Persona 5 at the time, which would have been the end of Strikers.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the end of Strikers happens, and our story takes place about 2 years after that. Um, Tactica wasn't even announced when we started.
Right.
So, funny enough, the beginning of Tactica, this is a very, 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 very tiny little spoiler. Starts off with an earthquake, essentially, is all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
So did ours. Our session started, our initial like awakening started with an earthquake happening,
Mm-hmm.
and our apartment building that the group is all staying in, instead of like a dorm, it's
Right.
we're all in an apartment building. It takes place in
Because
current
they're
day
practically
Chicago.
adults. Yeah.
Yep. And just when I booted up Tactica for the first time and I saw the screen start shaking, I said, "No, you gotta stop. You can't be doing this
You're
to
so
me."
baked into the franchise already.
And thankfully, I'm just like, they're all already awakened. I don't have to worry about them copying my awakening for anyone showing up here, because if they do, it's
Right.
Persona 5 is mask removal, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, then Metaphor came out,
Oh no.
and the awakening for Metaphor is very, very similar to how I had my party awaken on the first session. I just stared at the awakening like, Atlas, I'm not in your walls, but if you want to let me in, I'll help write. Please.
What would that be like if you were approached to help out?
Honestly, terrified to find out why, but also genuinely, I would never do anything else for the rest of my life. Like, if I ever got let go, if I wasn't able to do like an actual story for a game on a similar like domain or something like that,
Right.
I would never be able to do anything else. Like, that's peak. That would have been my peak.
Yeah,
I
right.
would have peaked. There's
You're
nothing
like,
else I could have done.
right. Oh my goodness. Well, have you always been creating and making fun things like that throughout your life, or was that just out of nowhere?
In different various forms, yes. Like I said, I've been playing music since I was like 3 or 4. So learning classical music, as much of a drag as it is for the initial thought of it, especially as a young kid,
Mm-hmm.
it taught me the mechanics and being able to also pick up on stuff by ear and figure things out. I
Right.
was able to sit and listen to the radio, or sit and listen to a cassette tape or a CD, and just sit there in front of a piano and just, cool, let's figure it out, and
Wow.
be able to play the stuff that's on the radio, and just being able to be like, cool, I can play that song that came out 3 weeks ago that people are requesting on the radio in the coffee shop downtown. Wow, did you get the sheet music early? No, I learned it by ear. What? It's 4 chords, bro. It's pop. Of
It's
course I learned it.
popped.
Like, again, not a roast
Yeah,
of the music
yeah,
industry by
yeah.
any means, but like, there's a reason there's a song by the Axis of Awesome called the 4 chord song, and it's
Hmm.
painful, but it's also very apparent. Like, if something works, people are going to use it, and that's okay.
Right.
But also, it makes my life a lot easier as someone that was covering music in coffee shops. Cool. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's some Dylan lore I had no idea about.
Yeah.
Do you
Very,
miss those
very
days?
deep. I do, but that's also why that setup number 2 behind me is finally
Right.
put together. Probably after Reconnect, I'm actually going to start getting down to the learning the recording software processes and everything like that, and working on actually putting more original stuff out into the air again. So
Wow. Now, are you thinking of backing up the tabletop with this your original music, or?
yes,
Oh
absolutely.
my gosh,
It's
that's such a
probably
high
gonna be
bar.
it's gonna be covers of stuff, obviously, because that's easy. Why wouldn't I just do covers? But
Right.
also, I'm planning on making original stuff, kind of like meshes of the three main games and combining their core best elements and making stuff that works for the situation that the party's in and just making it work. So
Right. Well, you have so much to work with, so I'm sure blending them together will be easy.
oh yeah.
And I can't wait to hear them. What is it like to organize the gaming sessions? I know you have like 7 or so people in the tabletop sessions.
Yeah, so the main party, they're all personal friends,
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature, people that I've known for ages, essentially, at this point. The person that I've known the least amount of time is about 4 years now, and again, that's still four
Wow.
years that I've known this person.
Wow.
Um, it's a group of five plus myself as a player and the DM. I kind of took on a hybrid role for this specific
Right.
tabletop experience where I'm not just the man behind the curtain voicing all the NPCs. And that has also given me the space to give the floor to some people, some friends that have been wanting to work on voice acting too. So it's like, hey, would you want to voice so and so from Persona 3, 4, or 5? A couple years later, doing this, this is the dialogue and being able to write different things for those people specifically. Um, None of the social links, actually, one social link five is a returning social link, essentially, and that's the guys from the gun shop.
Yeah. Oh,
That
okay.
guy and his son.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only ones that are a returning social link so far. There are other characters from the universe that are social links, but again, it's like on from Persona 5, I have a friend that did the voice acting for them. Futaba, I have a friend that's doing the voice acting for that. Um Zenkichi has been voiced by a friend.
Oh, wow.
And just again giving them the space to be like, hey, I'm doing this. You want to come and yap in a microphone over Discord, and I'll record it,
Yes,
play
I
it back for
do.
you, and see if it sounds good. Cool, awesome, and then we'll use it for this. And again, I'm so grateful because I could not possibly keep up with voicing and doing myself without pre-recording everything that well. So
Right.
having someone else pre-record it makes it much easier on that. But it also gives me the space as the DM of the actual session to be like, okay, cool. I have something to steer the conversation back to what we actually need to get through today.
Right.
I'd be like, boom. Yeah, so Futap, what's going on, Futap? What's the update here? Press voice
Play.
line, and then the conversation
Right.
continues as it's supposed to.
That's really creative. It sounds like to me between the games, the fundraising, the tabletop, streaming, creating content, like is content creating your full time job?
Essentially, yes. There's some other stuff that I
Oh.
do for work that is basically content creation in a different
Mm-hmm.
manner. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, please don't hurt me, but we'll not go into details on what I actually do.
Oh,
In
you're
terms of
fine.
other related stuff, but
Yeah.
essentially, my main source of income is my content creation, and it's a blessing to be able to say that in any way, shape, or form. Even to
Right.
have it be a partial part of my income over the years, as
Right.
something that, hey, I'm putting time into this, and I'm at least getting something back from it more than just, which, again, to be clear, is perfectly okay. Especially if it's just a hobby, it is perfectly okay to not make money from it. Hobbies don't have to be productive; they just need to give you joy
I
or something to
agree.
focus on. So, again, the fact that I'm getting all of those check marks off for this and still continue to be able to, and I've met some of the best people I've ever met in my life because of it,
Mm-hmm.
yourself included, ma'am. Um,
Not me. What do you mean?
it's again, it's a genuine blessing to be able to wake up and say, hey, I need to record this for today, or I need to do that for today, or
Right.
hey, I need to go do this, and that's work, and not have to worry about the bills. It's a
Right.
blessing, so I'm forever grateful for that.
So since that is your full time, or you're obviously leaning on it for more for finances, like what challenges do you have there? What's it like being your own boss? How do you deal with time management? Does it ever feel like a lot?
Always,
Yeah.
always. Uh, Thankfully, I've kind of set myself up, and my community also is well aware of that. Sometimes schedules aren't going to happen.
Right.
There are always days like if we have a persona session, it's going to be Saturday at around 4 p.m. or maybe a little bit later. If someone's running late. That's
Mhm.
like an expected. If we're having one, it's going to be at this time kind of situation.
Mhm.
But there have been days where I've simply said, "I'll be live when I'm live. I'll see you then." I'll get other stuff done, obviously during downtime, but
Right.
there's other days during the week where I'll wake up and I'll be live at 6 in the morning my time, and then
No,
two
I've
days
seen you
later
live.
it's a 9 p.m. and I'm staying up for and some reason I'm up for 12 hours and then going to sleep. Like sometimes there
Mhm.
just isn't an in between, but again the grace of it and the blessing for it is that because it's something that I can do when I can do it, it's very helpful again as someone is with a chronic illness and managing that and being able to say, hey, I need an extra hour.
Right.
Okay, cool. We'll
Give
see
me
you in
some
an hour.
time.
It's not something that I have to worry about, being the end of the world
Right.
just because my non-functioning body organs decided they didn't want to show up for
Right.
work again in any way, shape, or form today. It's again, it's something I've always been grateful for and will forever be grateful for, whether I'm still creating stuff of any fashion 15 to 20 years from now, or if I find some way to up the hat in 10 years or less. Whatever it takes, it's always going to be a part of my life in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form. It's just a matter of how much of a backseat it's take in terms of primary income. And again, it's a blessing.
Right. Do you ever feel like there's pressure from viewers to be on at a certain time or feel like you have to provide for them? It can be either from viewers or even just yourself. Just pressure
It's
to go
There
live.
absolutely is pressure on a constant basis space, and it's not talked about enough. People will be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I always feel pressured to, make sure I'm on time and make sure I have a schedule every week and blah, 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 blah." But not enough people talk about how to set the grounds for alleviating that pressure. Not enough people talk about, "Hey, this is too much. I will try to be live by this time, but if I'm half an hour late," and I have been seeing it a lot more, and I'm very happy to see it. A little bit more of my background on top of the creation. I've also been a community manager, a social media manager, um, literal, just essentially the top dog mod for people who were doing this as their living full time and making
Mhm.
good money.
Yeah.
And seeing all the ways that we as creators and also as community members have evolved to actually be like, hey, it's okay if you got to be 20 minutes late every once in a while. Like, you're
Yeah.
not a pre-recorded TV show or a news anchor that's expected
Right.
to be on at 6 p.m. every night. It's we're all living life and using this as a way to like share our
Mhm.
passion. Shouldn't be held. It should be held to a certain degree, but it also shouldn't be. And that's more of the human side of it, less of
Yeah.
the entertainment box on my screen that I
Right.
pay for every month. And it's been a very, very pleasing thing to see the industry, at least in the spaces that I've been in, kind of shift towards being more accommodating,
Yeah.
towards understanding that.
I've definitely seen that over the past couple years. Like maybe not so much now, but there was a good chunk of time where back when I was on Twitter and following a lot of different people or creators, I swear every month there was somebody that said, "I'm sorry, I just can't right now. I've hit burnout.
Mhm.
in trying to be on time every day and have a consistent schedule, it's just become a lot and I feel like my numbers aren't growing or whatever and it's, affecting my mental, so I'm going to step away." And I swear I saw one of those
Mhm.
every month and I was like, "Man, like I don't think the schedule and on time and like it's always on these days like really matters that much, especially in comparison to like your mental health or taking care of your
Mhm.
body or just all of those things." And I think that gets lost somewhere in trying to get the goal and trying to get the numbers and
Mhm.
and even then, if and when you eventually reach those numbers, there's just another one like coming after that. So you
There's
really do
always a
have to
higher number
manage
you can
it.
climb to, always. And
Right.
again, it was very prominent. Again, the seeing it every month. There were times where I was running a company Twitter and also paying attention to my own, and I would have columns on my desktop, just my personal feed, my personal messages, my personal notifications, all of the company stuff, timelines, and just, I swear, once a week, I would see a post complaining about stuff like that, a post saying they're taking a break from burnout, people wondering, should I change my schedule? If having a schedule works well for you managing this, especially if it's not your full-time job, like, again, being very crystal clear, like, if you work a job already full-time,
right,
and the only time you can make your passion happen with your hobby that you're doing with this, and again, make a little extra income, which is a good thing. It helps in this economy. Holding a schedule is a great thing because it keeps you on track for your real job, but you gotta still give yourself a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
So it's always, I get it. Again, I've someone that's been on all parts of the circle. I get it, especially the pressure for it and the desire to show up when you're quote unquote expected to, but please give yourselves a break every once in a while.
Right.
It's so important. No matter what the numbers on the dashboard say for any part of it, or how long you're going for every day, give yourself some grace because you're putting yourself out there for free.
No, really. And I think I won't get too into this because the episode is about you, not me. But I feel like a lot of the time between making YouTube and doing streams and all this other stuff, like it is just you spending extra time that you have just for practically nothing for a long time, and then maybe you take off. But I don't know. It really just depends on how the creator feels about those things. And, if you're going to do anything to get to it, then for sure. But if it's just a hobby or something like that, it becomes like, let's weigh our pros and cons. But to get back to it, well, what motivates you to continue? If you feel the pressure and you know that, like this is a thing where I make extra money, like how do you balance that? Or do you have constant inspiration?
Yeah. Thankfully I'm in a position where I don't have to necessarily rely strictly on the live streaming for the money. And that's, again, not everyone has that situation to be in. Some people, that is their entire job. If they skip a month, they might not be able to pay their bills the next. That's a totally different situation. I've been in that situation. That was the most grueling and disheartening and just motivation killing period of time in terms of genuine content that I've ever went through first. And that's just speaking from my own personal content. That's not talking about anybody else's or anybody else's numbers or what they were expecting of them. So if, again, it's all the content creation coaches and all these people talk about you gotta put in 10 hours a week on YouTube editing stuff. You gotta put in 5 to 10 editing your TikToks. You gotta do this, and this. It's like, bro, we're only one person. We only have so much time in a day. When do we sleep?
You don't.
Make sure you get your 8 hours of sleep. All on top of that, like, make sure you do all these things that is normally the job. If it was a production crew for an actual social team, it would be one guy doing all the social media stuff, a second guy doing all the video editing and all the clipping and farming and whatever, and one other guy doing all the live streams and just focusing on that. Companies have full production teams like this for a reason.
They do.
You have a really good point, actually. Praise, people.
Yeah, and I think it can be so, I'm going to say, backbreaking. I mean, you really are just like shoveling a lot into it, and most of the time just as one person, which is insane. You mentioned a little bit about modding for another community and being on that side of things kind of earlier in your online adventures.
Hmm.
Would you like to talk a little bit about that? I actually don't think I've heard any of these stories.
Yeah, so when I first picked up a mod sword, but it was still just.
Mm-hmm.
That is when I first saw something, I was engaging enough. They're like, hey, you're here every time I'm live. It's like, yeah, you're always on when I get done with work. And I like eating dinner and just relaxing
Mm-hmm.
with whatever I think it was Dota 2 at the time, which is basically just League of Legends for those that don't know. That's a very, very short version of it. Please don't own me for that statement. I'm just explaining it to the people that don't know.
Right.
But I would get out with my buddies, play some Dota 2. They'd be up in the background. I'd type in between lives, matches, and rounds, and they were like, "You want to help?" I'm just like, "I'm already here. Do you want me to help?"
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And then that's just how I started. And then I ended up meeting some other people over time that were both partnered and non-partnered that were pulling in decent numbers, things of that nature, and they also just needed help. And again, it was like, well, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I like helping. I might as well help. Do you want me to help?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you want to do? What do you need me to do? And it would just go from there. And there were days where I would be moderating 6 streams at one time.
Now that's a lot to deal with,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
that's just how my brain was like, yeah, I can manage this, and I would just go and
Yeah.
do it, and I would be fine. And thankfully, the tools existed to make that easier, of course. But like, it was me finding again. It was one of those parts of life where it's like I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of it because
Mm-hmm.
things didn't all go to plan. I
Right.
found that hey, while I'm trying to do that, I can help these people that are doing something that's new and exciting and different and
Mm-hmm.
creating a space to allow other people to potentially do that same thing in the future. Case in point, here we are. And
Yeah.
just, I saw that as a like, even if it doesn't directly financially majorly benefit me, I'm doing something that is allowing other people to help reach and live their dreams.
Right.
And it was a no-brainer for me at that time and still to this day where like if someone's playing through the Persona series for the first time and they need someone that will know if someone is blatantly hinting or spoiling at something, if they need someone to be there in chat walkthrough,
Yeah.
I if I can be there, I will do it. And
Right.
depending on the time of the year, I can literally change my schedule around to be there if they have a set schedule. And if
Yeah.
not, I show up as much as I can. And it's just it was one of those things that just it clicked for me as like this is what I'm meant to do right now, whether I'm doing it 10, 15 years from now still, we'll see. And again, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
But it just made sense at the time, so I did it. And it worked out.
That sounds like a really fun time. I feel like being on the mod side is really a whole different experience. But to kind of pivot here, how do you balance your online life and your offline life? Or do you feel like you have one? And does that even come easy for you?
It's not been an easy journey getting to the point of balance that I am at
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
It's small things that build up and compound to the overall relief of
Mm-hmm.
the constant pressure, especially if you're balancing 4 different social media platforms and trying to post on everything and again trying to edit for 3 different video platforms on top of all that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find the ways that give you your personal balance that you need.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one of those steps was deleting Twitter. that was more of a blessing than I thought.
Yeah,
The social
no.
media manager in me never thought it would happen.
Yeah, there's so much
It just
peace
reached
on
a
this
point.
side. I promise you.
It reached a point where all of the things that I needed to see from there were either feeds that I could get sent directly to my Discord through our update channels that we have,
Mm-hmm.
or things that people would send me anyway, so there was no reason for me to be on there except to
True.
communicate with people directly. And all those
Yeah.
people I was communicating with directly are on Blue Sky or on Discord. I have their phone number.
Right.
I have some sort of means to directly talk to them when I can. Why am I still here? Why am I opening up the app, doom scrolling, suffering, complaining, closing the app, and then opening again 20 minutes later, only to repeat that same damn process and wonder why I just wasted half an hour of my day? Get rid of it. And that might not be a good idea or what's necessary for everybody to find that
Yeah.
alleviation of space, but it could be something simple like just turn off your phone's notifications for it.
Right.
Set sleep periods for it and have it be when you need to be focused on work. I don't have Discord notifications on my phone, but I still check it if I'm expecting a response or if I'm expecting, hey, I'm going to go and message someone quick. Oh, cool. They're also online right now, too. Okay, cool. I'll finish talking to them when I'm at my desk. And that way I'm at my desk. I can focus on it now. Or I'm at my desk. It's there. I'll see it when I see it rather than
Constantly.
just constantly.
Yeah.
It gets exhausting. Even if it's all good stuff, it's still energy that you're spending trying to keep up with it.
Right. You could be in the middle of a task and then see a thing come up and just get derailed. And I feel
Absolutely.
I feel like back when I was on Twitter, I would get notifications for things I didn't even follow that seemed like kind of around my alley, but then you'd see something that was just rage bait and you'd just be like, what the heck? Why did I get flashbanged with this? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
and it's a very hard struggle to get through. It is a personal thing that people got to work through at their own pace. You can't, rage bait is called rage bait for a reason.
Yeah.
I am way too familiar with engaging with it for the sake of trying to feel better for it.
Yeah.
I will openly admit I am a better internet person than I was 6 years ago. And
what do you mean
none
by
of that came like I would find every excuse to yap at somebody until they blocked me. Like, I'm being so real. If I saw someone say some absolute buffoonery, and I'm just like, you know what? I've got time today. Let's ruin some lives. And I would go for it. And again, it was a toxic trait, but it's one that I've grown from, and I will still recognize it. It's like if I reach that point where you've been yapping off your horse for long enough, I'll still rein you in, kind of deal. But like, it's not worth the time and the additional stress and the negative emotions and engagement. There's already enough negative stuff in the world today. I don't need to further amplify my own personal amount by going and engaging with people that are purposely trying to make everybody else upset because they have nothing better to do. It's the same seed that's being sown.
Yeah. That's a conversation. The Persona 4 revival trailer just came out, and I have things to talk to Dylan about. But that'll be an offline thing.
Oh, my word.
I have comments and opinions, but anyway. Let's see. I'm going to pivot a little bit. Do you have any inspirations or creators that you look up to or inspire you in the space online?
Honestly, and I mentioned him earlier, Gold Glove was the reason I got into the content creation space in the first place. I was just a dude that was like, Gears of War seems cool. Let me go check it. This guy plays it, and he's basically good enough to be a professional. And then just, the tumbleweed effect, just getting into it. And he still creates content to this day. He's going to be playing the beta this weekend. Funny enough, I was in a stream the other day. And I think just in general, there's been a lot of people that have been both, like, inspiring in their own ways in terms of, like, making me want to do better in my own content creation, but also showing that it's okay for me to take the time to get to that space when the time is right. Because, like, if I hadn't been in the space that I was when I decided to put metaphorical pen to paper and start writing the tabletop campaign, or to decide that I wanted to get all this stuff together to get the little mini music studio I have set up, and to have all that stuff ready for me for when that creativity strikes and it's time to put it to work and get it recorded. I think every single part of the communities that I'm in is part of one of the many moving cogs, and we're all cog in
Mhm.
this giant machine that we call the internet in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form. And it's been the people that have been genuine, real, and actually positive about the spaces that they're in that have been the biggest inspirations for me, but also the ones that just like me just don't tolerate the nonsense. If they see it, they call it. And
Mhm.
it's even more important than ever to like be loud about what's actually good and bad in terms of morals, and
Oh
not
yeah.
just I don't like this game
Yeah.
because insert reason. Well, did you try this? No, I don't want to. It's
Yeah.
bad. That's again, it's just another form of rage bait.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Do you have any Twitch or YouTube creator friends in the space? I know you kind of talked on it earlier. Have you ever met them? What's it like to finally meet and hang out with the people that you've met online?
So my best friends and
Mhm.
most of the people that I do the campaign for Persona with are all either moderators or community members that I've known for ages. Um, One of them is my best friend, and he's been literally we met in person at the very first TwitchCon, and we've literally been best friends ever since. And I'm so forever, like eternally grateful for his existence. Rye, you know this is about you.
Mhm.
Fuck you. Um,
Yeah, right.
but just but at the first TwitchCon we met in person, we've been best friends ever since, and I'm eternally grateful for our friendship. It means everything to me. Um, but I think since then, like it's kind of been like foolproof between like the people that I've met from like Reconnect and other events that I've worked at. There's people that I have met at events almost we're getting close to being almost a decade ago, and that's
Oh
terrifying.
my
That like
gosh.
there's people that I've known for that long that I literally happened to meet at an after party at a PAX or something one year. That if we see each other, it's instant. Like we saw each other yesterday, but we're just catching up on what happened today, kind of like vibes.
Right.
And having that with like everyone that I've been like hanging out with recently, like with especially with like you and Andy and Xander and Mo and Theo and Burb, like people like that, just whether we've met in person or not has been so genuinely refreshing to be able to make those kind of connections and have that kind of time with people where it'd be like, yeah, we're gonna shoot the shit and play some Fortnite and just hang out and scream as we get shot at and maybe get a win or two and just have genuinely like such a good time. And yeah, we could potentially do this if we're hanging out in person, but then we'd all have to drive home. We'd all have to, worry about
True.
how much we drank in that night. Like all these different things that like not just the pandemic, but just like the streaming space has created for us with the connectivities that we can have with each other and the socializing and bonds that we can build further has been so genuinely like beneficial and like heartwarming to a degree.
Mhm.
And of course, there's always going to be like, oh, I don't talk to them anymore. But that's life. That
Right.
happened before the creation space.
Right.
The only difference now is you might have to see their name pop up online in a mod list, or VIP list, or viewer list.
Right.
That's why tools for blocking and stuff exist. But
We love a block button.
we do be loving the block button.
Not me being like,
You,
and how is it to meet people in real life? And then we're like, but the block button is
but the
great.
block button is great.
No,
But
I fully
it's
endorse
just
that
another
button.
way. Yeah, it's another way we can like set our boundaries and control our space. It's not this. Oh, well, if you block me, that means I won. It's
Oh
if I block
gosh.
you, it means your opinion has no value to me in any way, shape, or form, and I no longer need to see it because you don't exist anymore. And that
Hmm.
was another reason why I left Twitter. Get me out of that space.
Yeah.
But just to like steer it back to the positive here, just there's so many different ways that we've been able to have genuine human bonds like exist and thrive and grow in these online spaces. And again, it's just like it is at Reconnect, where we're all there because we're Kingdom Hearts fans. The ice has already been broken. We all know, we all, at least in some way, shape, or form, care about this series in some way.
Mm-hmm.
We already are starting off on we all like this and cool. What else do we like about it? What specifics do we like about it?
Right.
And just being able to go from there from the ground running, it helps build that kind of relationship and bond faster and easier with something common already set in stone in place.
Right.
It makes that kind of thing easier, and it's the same way with creation. Again, like being able to find someone that makes Gears of War content creation and being able to watch them get married, have like a kid or two, and still be doing this as their job that many years later, and just seeing like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not only do I, get to see that and like feel good about it, like, who knows, maybe one day, maybe not from content creation, but like,
right.
The human development and the human emotions that we're able to feel and grow with each other might not be possible if we didn't have these spaces. Because let's be real, some shared experiences are not meant to be shared lightly, and being able to find people that you can find comfort in and be able to talk to about these things is a genuine blessing, because a lot of people don't have that from their hometown because everybody knows them and they don't feel like they can share that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've seen a couple creators over time like grow, get bigger, become popular, maybe get married, and then have a kid. And it's just wild to look back at and be like, I was here before you even met the girl or whatever. It's so interesting to see. And you don't really realize that that's a thing that's happening in the background, because you're like, oh, we're here for games, but you do kind of pick up on the person and what's going on in their life, and you're kind of invested at a certain point. Hopefully not to a parasocial way, but you're like, oh, well, cool, good for you.
Restarted, yeah.
It is interesting in that way. Do you feel like, and this is kind of a tough one for some people, so don't feel bad if you don't have an answer, but do you feel like you have a mission statement or a why when you're creating your content?
It's hard to put it into a single phrase, but when I think about the reason why I open up OBS and I open up my chat bot and I clean myself up as best as I can and I turn the camera on, or I use my damn little PNG tuber guy and just sit and yap in the dark sometimes. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you just need to exist without needing to be on screen, and that's perfectly valid. But when I think about why I hit that go live every time now, it's to help create a space, even if it's just for one person, to feel the same way that I have being around the space for as long as I have been. And whether that's the games that we're playing, the causes that we're fundraising or bringing attention to, the stories that we're telling or experiencing, it's less of a, well, I'm playing it and I'm at my desk anyways, I might as well hit go live. It's more of a, someone might need this today more than I do. I'm going to hit go live and see if I can do it. Or I'm going to edit that video. I'm going to put it out there talking about how I feel about it. Staring at our Persona 3 conversation specifically.
Yeah, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
And again, music has been a part of my life for basically since I was out the womb. Obviously, learning and playing when I was 3 and 4, but it's enveloped every aspect of my life to a certain degree that I feel more naked without music being present than I do actually not having any pants on.
Right.
So it's like it's a wild thing to think of like that, but it's like all these different ways that we all experience and envelop ourselves with things created from the human emotions and just our existences is like, it has value, and it might hold more value to that one viewer in your chat that's always there. You could be the only thing keeping them from any of the bad things.
Right.
And as someone that's been that one viewer that was at a point that the only reason I stayed around was because I didn't want to have my dad call so and so to tell so and so to tell so and so that I
Right.
wasn't going to be in chat anymore, and just like, and it's not always that deep, but at the same time, more times than we realize it might, and they might not even realize it. They lose that comfort space in some way, shape, or form, and it could just, you know, they might find it somewhere else, but if not me, you have to wonder who. And I would rather I at least
Mm-hmm.
be me and be there and be present. So I know that got really sappy really hard,
No,
really
it's
quick,
okay.
but like it's so like
It's a
it's so
fragile place to
genuinely
be in,
like
and sometimes you don't have the effort to go out or talk to people in your real life circle or whatever. And sometimes the easiest thing is to pick up the phone or open like mobile app or whatever, and
mhm.
get online. And maybe you don't say anything, but they're just there to make you not in your head as much. And
Yeah,
I say that being
absolutely.
on both ends of the spectrum, like previous only viewer and just having been a streamer too. Like sometimes you do just need to like I need something else to think about. I'll go over here. I know I like the vibes. Like maybe
Yep.
I get a laugh today, and it takes very minimal effort if you have Wi-Fi and a phone or like internet connection.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's much easier than maybe dealing with the people that you know in real life, because that may be harder to talk about, you know?
It might not even be safe, in comparison.
Exactly.
There's
Exactly.
there's so many people, and I've been through enough of them. Sometimes the people that you're living with, be it blood or otherwise,
Mm,
just are not safe for you to discuss those things with. And that's even more of a reason for
right.
us to create the ways that allow us to express ourselves and be there for those people. So it's always been less about the numbers game for me and more of
Mm-hmm.
about a direct connection kind of thing. So
Right.
that's why I go live whenever I go live.
Right.
And fundraising aside, I try and do as much as I can every year that we do it. Kitty.
Sorry. He's letting me get on the table this entire time.
Hey, that is okay, but it's for the same reasons. It's the same reason why I fundraise for St. Jude every year that I can. It's why we're gonna fundraise for the type 1 diabetes research. Probably in, I think it's November is the month that they do their biggest push, and it's just, even if it's only $50,
Right.
it's still $50 more than that cause had, and to be able to look back and say, I did something to help.
Mm.
Someone donated because they saw me fundraising, or someone rated into me while I was fundraising. They said,
Mm.
you know what? Yeah, I can spot a few bucks. I got a brother that's diabetic, or I got a
Mm.
aunt that passed away from complications from it. I don't want to see that anymore. Here's $50, and just all the different ways that we can affect each other's lives as human beings. They all have value, and again, it's why Persona hits so hard and is
So
such a
true.
genuine connecting part for
It's
me,
not
is
just a high
because
school game with teenagers. Sorry to trigger you. my
oh my
bad.
gosh. No, you're good. You're good. Listen, I've been through the trenches. I've been through the trenches with that game
Oh,
series, and I will continue to be in the trenches
yeah.
because someone's got to be there to pick up the people that get buried in it.
I feel that. I totally feel that.
It's yeah.
That actually leads into my next question. What do you think is the best and worst thing about being online? Not the sigh.
I almost feel like it's two sides of the same coin. I think best and worst of
Mm,
being online, the connections again with connecting with humans without having to worry about distance.
mm,
Obviously, in person, physical in whatever way, shape, or form it needs to be it a hug, a handshake, or relationships for people that are in relationships. That's
mm-hmm.
it's all valid. It's all part of the human connection and the human experience. But to kind of pivot back to what we kind of touched on earlier, it's the parasocial stuff. people that invest with expectations way too heavily into people that are doing this to escape something that they're already dealing with in real life. They could be doing it to raise money to get out of a terrible situation. They could be going online just so they have a space to be like, I'm working, leave me alone for 2 hours a night, just to have somebody to talk to about anything else other than the bad stuff.
Right.
And people take it as, oh, they're giving me attention.
It's like an
That's
invitation.
my entire personality now. Yeah.
Even though it's not.
It's not. Human beings have a way of figuring out a way to tell people what they mean to them when they are comfortable to do so.
Right.
And whether it's simply friendship or tight-knit friendships or more than that, it's all intention.
Yeah.
And
it
if
really
someone
is.
expresses their intention, like, hey, and I can speak on this a little bit because I've dated online. I've dated people that I've met through the internet. That's something I'm perfectly open and okay with talking about. I've had good experiences, and I've had god awful, made me never want to be on the internet again experiences.
Okay.
And the good was good until it got bad, and it's not necessarily their true colors show after a period of time, because yes, they do in a way, but there's always going to be gaps in people's behaviors when they're trying to connect with people in any way, shape, or form, be it in person or otherwise. If someone directly says, "Hey, I'm not interested," believe them.
Right.
If someone says,
don't try
to
change their mind.
Yeah, don't try and change their mind. On the other side of the coin, and again, this is speaking from personal experience, someone tells you, "Hey, I'm not ready for a relationship, but if I was, you would be my choice." Don't be lying about that if you're gonna be, whatever,
Yeah.
It's you're dancing on dangerous territory here when you say things to that degree, and you have to be very clear with your intentions. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up with people being hurt. And karma's had my back thing, but oh boy, I'd rather have not gone through some of these things ever again in my life, and just I'm glad I went through it when I did, but also never again. So it's and that's part of life. Opening up for relationships of any kind can be difficult for people, especially if they been through hell and back in regards to it, be it personal, romantic relationships or otherwise. That's the baddest people. It's just like it is with any other part of life with human beings. People with bad intentions tend to cause problems.
True.
So it's just an extension of the human experience, and the way that some people see it as an excuse to amplify it.
Right.
Because of the online and the animosity, and no one knows who I really am.
That's a good point.
I know who you are if you have your Facebook tied to your Spotify, and you have your Spotify in your Discord bio, bro. Like, chill out.
That's so funny. You're right, though. Oh my god.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be weird, at least be actually anonymous about it.
Oh my gosh. So
I got paid penny for a living at one point in my life. Like,
oh my god.
When I got time. I'll find you.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So if you hit a point at some degree in time where the relationships or the friendships hit a point where you didn't want to be back online or like could debate that, how do you come back from that?
Breaks.
Yeah.
Breaks and a refocus of motivation and energy and purpose. Yeah. It was very much again, I'm speaking from my personal experience with this specific part here, but it was hell. I gotta be so real. It was straight up hell. I didn't want to talk to anybody for 2 or 3 days straight, let alone be online in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That was a whole ass mess. I gotta be so real.
That was a whole ass mess.
It was a whole ass mess.
Man.
And just, it's demoralizing. It really genuinely is to just have your trust, your expectations, and what you thought was a genuine thing that could lead to more just not work out. And just have it not work out in the worst, most petty way possible that sometimes things like these do. People just don't respect boundaries and they don't respect your time or your emotions or your mental state. And they think, well, I got what I wanted out of this and now I don't want to have this anymore. I'm out. Why did you make the connection in the first place?
Yeah. Most of the time it's for selfish reason without any regard for the other person involved or other people involved. Yeah. I hear you there.
Nope. That and people just don't know how to mind their damn business. People really just don't.
Oh my gosh. See, this is why you're on here. We need somebody to say the real things. Because, we're always online, saying the nice things. Sometimes the real
Minding
stuff
your
isn't
business
nice. Yeah.
And shutting the fuck up are both free. It costs you absolutely nothing. Not a second of your time. Just
right.
When in doubt, shut up and mind your business. And your personal relationships with other people will be so much better for that.
Right.
If you just do that. it really just be like that. Like,
oh my gosh.
It shouldn't be that difficult to understand, but it just really is. Like, if someone says, like, I don't want to talk about it, they don't want to talk about it.
I know.
And there's a good shot whoever they do need to talk to about it has already been informed and is helping them in the ways that they need to be helped because they already have that established. Right. They don't need someone to yap to about it. And if they do, trust me, like, the doors are open with the people they need to have that with that they know aren't going to cause more problems.
Yeah.
I love causing problems. Personally.
I love causing problems.
Only with good intentions.
Right. Because there are a lot of interesting people in the online space. You don't know somebody until you know somebody. And that point, that's why we have the block button.
Yep. Hey, that is the truth.
Well, anyway, moving on. What is your biggest self critique? You're like, dang it.
Man. I try to like remind myself that all the damn time. And again, I have the tools so constantly. It's making the time to do the things that I say I want to do, or even just like turning a clip into a TikTok. It takes like 3 minutes, man. Just do it. But I have presences on the spaces that I have, and I always feel like I'm not using them enough, but I also feel like if I'm not genuinely, I'm very, very receptive of like, if I can see the effort is actually being made, I appreciate it more. And I know that if I'm just like, well, somebody clipped me being really loud in stream the other day when I got a kill. Let me go post it on the internet for other people to laugh and be happy about me being loud. It's just like, you're just being loud, Dylan. Sure, it's funny in the moment, but 2 weeks later, who gives a shit? What's the context? Who cares?
Right.
Just put it out there. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's that constant battle of like both self-motivation and self-worth that I know there's plenty of people that struggle with it. And again, it's like if I had a team of people to do this for me, I wouldn't even have to think about it. But also like, I don't have a team of people. If I want it to be out there, I have to do it. Just go do it. Spend a day a week and just do it. Trying to get better about it, but again, that takes time. It takes personal motivation, and when the time's right, that motivation will strike, and it'll happen. But you just shouldn't force it, just like anything else that we've talked about today. Forcing things never works out correctly. It just leaves things damaged.
Nice, nice. Well, what would you say you're most proud of? Either it's a stream or your fundraisers, or maybe it's your tabletop RPGs. And instead of maybe the more popular thing, maybe it's not that, but something you maybe poured a lot of time into that did or did not gain traction. What would you say is
Mhm.
something you're most proud of?
The tabletop is obviously a top dog for that for me personally, just because again, it's a labor of love. It's a thank you for existing, Atlas. You have literally made my life better. Just praising, but also giving my own like this is how I would do things moments. The fundraising with St. Jude is always just genuinely the best time of the year
Mm-hmm.
because every single dollar does count, and getting to see that in person at the summit this past April was the most life changing, eye opening, this really matters experience I've ever had in my life. So those are the easy like top two. And I need to start giving myself more credit because I always get yelled at by Rye again, fuck you. Um, that I don't give myself enough credit for some of the hard shit that I do,
Mm-hmm.
like the challenge runs, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing like crazy level one randomizer nonsense on Kingdom Hearts every day, but I'm still, we're all putting in the work in the ways that make us feel the most comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we could all do a better job of like boosting our ego safely
Mm-hmm.
to a degree, and just being more like proud of ourselves without having to hear it from somebody else first. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I've always had a problem with, but it's there's a reason I continue to hear it from the people that are closest to me is because my wins are worth celebrating, and that's something that I need to focus more on doing because I know I'm doing good stuff. Again, I
Mm-hmm.
have the fundraising numbers and everything else to prove that, but it's the things that don't have a big banner next to them or a graphic that I
Mm-hmm.
can update that finding the ways to like continue to motivate and like apply for those game keys, things like that. Even if I don't get it, who cares? I'm gonna buy the game anyway. I'm gonna play the game anyway. People are gonna watch because it's the new game. That was literally my Expedition 33 playthrough in a nutshell. I kind of wish I waited a week so more people got a chance to play it first, so more people could watch. But at the same time,
You're like, I'm excited
who
and I
cares?
could get spoiled.
Exactly. Now, don't get me started. I there are so many things that I thankfully like streams that I've been watching haven't been dealing with
Mm,
a lot of people spoiling stuff. But if they open TikTok and got their feed going the wrong way one day,
yeah.
they'd be destroyed.
I can't tell you how many of those I've had to scroll past. Like, no, 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 no. You know what I mean? Which, and
Yep.
thankfully, I don't know anything about that story, which is, thank goodness.
Spoiler alert: they're French.
Yeah, oh my goodness, dude. We're recording. Oh my
Oops.
goodness. Oops. Yeah, yeah. Well, just so you're aware, I wanted to have you on the pod because I feel like you do have a lot of opinions that I think are important to share, and you're dripping and oozing with personality. And I feel like the more people come to know who you are, the more like they'll just stick to you and magnetize, or at least like the real ones, you know? Because what you and maybe even you and I talked about today, or even in the past, is very real life stuff. And most of the time, a lot of the streams that I have been in, you're probably one of two people I can think, or maybe three that I can think of off the top of my head that really talk about real life and dealing with it, like positive, negative, in
Mhm.
between, whatever. And I feel like it's important to have a range of different opinions here, and I think what you bring to the table is very important. So I appreciate your online existence a
I
lot.
appreciate yours like so much, genuinely. Oh,
Oh my
thank you
gosh.
for that.
You're welcome. I know being, especially in the space as a content creator, it's almost like you're constantly feeling like you have to keep up or compare yourself or feel like you're not doing enough or posting enough or online enough. And it's just a lot to deal with, which is also kind of the purpose of this pod is like, how do people balance it? Is there a balance? Is it a slippery slope?
Mhm.
How are we dealing with it mentally, emotionally? Do you have offline things that are important to you and things like that? So I think it's just great to have a different scope and a different view of, a peek behind the curtain per se for different creators and see how they deal with it. Well, then, enough of me. What's next for you, Dylan? Do you have anything coming up down the pipeline or
Uh,
through Twitch, YouTube? I
a
know you're on TikTok as
lot,
well.
a lot after Reconnect
Right.
is in the works. Um, I guess I could say we'll be finishing up the Persona 5 Royale modded playthrough after Reconnect, potentially
Mm-hmm.
getting back to a little bit the next couple of weeks. And then we're probably going to start Persona 1. I actually want to see if I boot it up and start streaming it,
Yeah.
if I'll have the motivation to fully play through it. Because, oh my word.
Yeah. I'll be there. You know me.
When I tell you, I could, I can't count on my hands how many times I've started that game up and tried to get through it.
Oh man.
And I think part of it is because I'm notorious for if I start playing anything like on a portable device while I'm laying in bed, I get 10 minutes and then I'm out somehow, which is great if I really need to sleep for some
Yeah,
reason, for something
yeah.
later that day or the next day or something. It's like instant melatonin. Um, but
Ah.
I think it'll kind of be, I can kind of like to speak back on it. Like people want, people say they want remakes of the older games, but they don't understand
No.
just how much work it would be to bring it up to the same level of quality that we expect from the Persona 4 remake, for example. And
Mm-hmm.
just,
People don't
unless you've
realize
tried
it was a hallway walker for a long time. Just walls
add
forever.
random encounters,
Yeah.
nightmare fuel.
Yeah,
You could take
exactly.
2 steps and get another encounter.
Uh,
Y'all don't know the pain of actually trying to play it. And again, I agree. Absolutely deserve remakes, but
mm-hmm.
gotta let them cook. They're not gonna happen overnight.
Right.
Persona 4 one isn't even happening overnight, and they already have all the assets and engine from 3 Reload done. Like, good things take time, and they claim they want good things, but then complain about every minute detail. So, that's my thought about doing that playthrough specifically is I want to do it because it deserves to be seen.
Right.
Um,
Exposure,
Rhino getting that
knowledge.
remaster
Right.
is coming out soon here, so that's 100% of day one. Just get a code for it.
Yeah.
Um, so keep your fingers crossed for me on that one, y'all. Um,
What about in the YouTube space?
that after Reconnect is something that is going to be a very, very long awaited project, at least for
Mm-hmm.
me. I don't know if I want to pull up the word count for that script right now because it'll probably hurt me.
Right.
It's gonna be minimum 2 videos, potentially even 3.
Uh huh.
But I am putting together a very detailed video essay about Persona 3 as a whole for the entire experience and the reasons why it's so important. Um, just on a single individual side, but I also do want to do kind of similar to this, where some people with their heads on straight sit down and actually talk about the important stuff and the things that again it's not a bad thing if people can't relate to everything in the
Right.
game
Mm-hmm.
because some of that shit hurts,
Yeah.
but it makes it hit even harder when that time comes where you're like, oh, now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for any of these experiences, but not just Atlas titles, just
Right.
anything. It's the same way with people that complain about Sora and Kingdom Hearts going from ego in 2 to basically sobbing in 3. It's like
Right.
nature, bro, chill out.
Right.
What is it with all of these games with teenagers as the main cast? and people acting like they're supposed to be as fully put together as full
As
grown
an
adults
adult.
when they're not even fully put together as a
Right.
full grown adult. I
Um.
you could shut me up if you tried to stop
No,
me.
no, no. It's interesting that those people are arguably the most childish ones that don't understand how emotions work or fully embrace their emotions, because if they did, they'd probably have some sort of scope. But
Yeah.
I mean, also to go back to the persona stuff, even not just in any one particular, there's so many different characters and personalities and struggles or whatever through all the games. So it's like, even if the main character or the main cast isn't you per se, or you don't feel tied to
Hmm.
them per se, there is at least one person that you can relate to in those, even if they are a teenager or a child. I've related to
Hmm.
a child in one of these. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Just like real life, some kids go through harder stuff than
Hmm.
an adult quadruple their age have gone through, and
Right.
they're expected to pick up the pieces, move on, and still be a kid at the end of the day, and just keep
Yeah.
living like a kid when their entire world just got shattered in front of them. Like,
Right.
what do you want, man?
What do you want, man? Can we just not enjoy the Disney game? Damn.
Right?
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, outside of the online space, is there anything in real life that you're particularly excited for? You don't have to get too personal if that's too much, but
I'd say just continuing to make the space behind me, my room that I work in, and
right.
everything of that nature, just more me getting
Hmm.
some shelves up soon, putting some mostly Atlas related collector's editions up on them, and
Hell
just
yeah.
making it more my personal, like, I don't want to say zen zone because I don't think that's the right like
Hmm.
specific term for what I feel about it, but just like
She shed.
not only is this home, it's like it's me. Someone
Yeah.
walks in and says, I know at least something about this dude just by looking at what he's got up on his shelves. I know what he's passionate about, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like, I've always wanted to be able to do better about that, and I've had like posters behind my camera and setups and stuff like that before, but it's you know,
It takes
still a
time.
relatively new place that I'm getting used to, and things that needed to happen and things that needed to move. But
Yeah.
it's
Sometimes you
it's
have to
still
live in a space
very
long enough to feel like you know the essence of it and what you want to do with
and
it.
that it's worth investing any more into it than you are currently.
True.
So yeah, but I'd say that's probably the main thing is just continue to get better physically, health wise, and just get my space to a point of truly feeling like home in my space, at least until the point where like I have my own personal home and the entire thing is my personal space. So.
Yeah, and then you can put Atlas stuff everywhere.
Oh, the door is gonna have a blue hue to it. You open the door, the aria of the
There's
soul
an
starts
Elizabeth
playing.
just standing there.
Listen, listen,
Cardboard cutout, please.
listen,
By each door, the outside back door just has one too.
listen.
The twins are
I'm
out
writing
there.
this down. I'm right now. It's already written down. Let's be real.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for sharing and being on the pod. Everyone, this has been DMPeyer. Be sure to check out Dylan over on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok for gaming reactions and so much more. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having me. Bye.